Hi everyone, thanks for taking the time to join us for our webinar today. My name is Gary and I'm going to be your tour guide taking you through the Member365 platform, showing you how you're going to be able to engage your members and your community with these online workspaces. Joining me today is Katya Els. She's going to be helping out with the Q&A. She's representing our marketing team here. So our agenda for today, just so everybody's clear with that, we're going to be covering how to create workspaces. And essentially there's two ways to create workspaces. One, for committees. So you're going to want an online workspace or collaboration group for different committees, mark down positions on that. So who's the chair, who's the president of a committee. And then also the second part of this webinar is going to be covering workspaces that are going to be used as general discussion groups and for your general members to be able to use. And wrapping up, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So if anybody has any questions, at the bottom right-hand corner of the Adobe Connect screen, you can write your questions in there and we'll address them once we wrap up the webinar. So to start up, we're going to start on our administrative dashboard for Member365. This is always the first place that you're going to land when you log in as an administrator to Member365. So anytime that you want to go and create a new workspace and create this and tie it back to a committee, I'm going to show you how to do that first off. And that's going to be found under the modules section right here. So anytime you want to create a new committee, you're going to come and press this committee button. And for today's example, I'm going to go through and create a new board of directors group. This doesn't have to be limited to committees. So if it's an event committee, board of directors, it can also be for any work group. So if you have a task force that needs an online area to collaborate, upload files to the file library, this is also a great option for you here. So here we go. I'm going to fill out the information, save that. And now that I've created that committee name, I can create a description in here. So this is what's going to be saved along with it so you know what this committee is responsible for. So I'm just going to quickly put a board of directors tag in here. You can attach files, images, or any other messaging that you want attached to this group. Next, you're going to be able to go through and edit the workspace. So you can create a committee just to keep track of the different positions within your database, or you can also link it back to a workspace. And this toggle is how you're going to be able to do that right here. There we go. So now that I've enabled the committee and tied that back to this board director's workspace, I'm going to go in and create the actual workspace itself. There we go. Put a welcome message. This is what's going to show up on that landing page for the workspace, what people are going to first see when they log in. So this workspace is for the board of directors. There we go. Now within the workspace itself, there's a number of different modules that you can enable depending on what you really want to use this for. So one of those is the ability to auto bookmark this. So any members that are added to this, do you want that to be visible right on their landing page when they first log into the member portal? That's when you check that off. You can also enable the discussion board. So do you want there to be a discussion board involved in there so people can reply to one another and communicate? Turn that on. The file library. So that's going to be a Dropbox-esque feature that you have. So you can upload files, have different categories. Particularly for board directors, you're going to want to upload meeting minutes, so you can enable that there. You can also tie certain events back to certain workspaces. So if you want to create a board of directors workspace, you can create events just for them that are only visible within their group. And if you want to be able to see which members or which other board members are within this group, you can also enable directory so anybody can go and see who else is involved in the group. So next step is going to be adding the different members or contacts to this group. So this is going to be where you tie back this committee and the positions involved to your database. So because you have your board directors contacts in the database already, and I know that I'm in here, I'm going to find them by name and then assign a committee role. So I'm just going to be a member of this particular committee. You can come here, set the term. So I'm going to start now. This one's going to go for a couple months until the summer and June 1st. I can go and assign that. I can also go and add other committee members. So I can go back here and go through and add them as well. For days, I'm just going to go and leave it out as that right now. Now by pressing the save button, we're now going to create that committee, tie back that role to my contact record in the database, and also create that workspace that's going to populate for me within the member portal area. So I'm going to go and press that button right now. There we go. So now that we've gone on that administrative side and created everything we need, as a member of that board directors group, I'm going to receive a notification via email that I've been added to a new group. So now I'm going to assume that identity of that new board directors member and going to go log into the member portal area. So like any other member or administrator, I'm going to put in my username and password to give me access to that private space. And we're going to land on what's called the member portal dashboard. So anytime that a new committee workspace is created, it's going to be under this category of committees we're seeing here on the top level. So I'm going to go through, click on that, and we're going to see that board of directors group. There we go. So now by entering that, we're going to have access to that space, and we can go start in and start posting, collaborating, and uploading files. So anytime you want to go and start a discussion, you have the ability to go here and post a new topic. There we go. So your first step is going to be creating a new subject. So this one will be for an upcoming board meeting. So let's review these documents I added before our meeting. Example. I can also make this sticky, so as an administrator, if I want this to stay at the top of the discussion board as it gets longer with different posts, I can make that stick there and go ahead and post that. So because I'm posting from my account, it's going to tie my name and my image back to that so everybody can see that social aspect. As an administrator, I can go in here and edit my own post and also delete this thread if I no longer want it to be active or if something's happening that you don't want to happen. And in order to leave comments, as any other members that are going to be joining this group to respond, I just go here, press leave a comment, and it'll be logged right underneath. There we go. Whenever you want to add files to the library, so my example earlier was for meeting minutes, you can go right back to that board of directors main page for the workspace. There we go. And I can go and upload a file. So as these groups get larger and they've been around for a longer time, you're going to run the problem of keeping things organized. So our solution for you is the ability to create different categories. So if you want to create a category for a certain board meeting or for meeting minutes in general, you can absolutely do that. First step is going to be uploading a file. So I'm just going to select an image because it's here, but typically this would be PDF, CSV, Excel files, anything that you want to upload in here. I can also go and select from a category. So if a category's already been created, it's going to appear here for a drop-down menu. But since we just made this, I'm going to go and create a new category that's going to be saved. Oops. There we go. Add that category. Also create subcategories. So again, to keep things organized over the long haul, you can create meeting minutes and create subcategories for certain dates or times. I'm going to go ahead and upload that. There we go. So we can see that JPEG file is uploaded here on the right-hand side. Once this group starts getting larger, there's more documents. You're actually probably want to come to this file library because this is just going to show you our most recent files. So in this file library, you can search by certain keywords, by all those categories. So those meeting minute categories has now been populated here. So you can really dig through this and have a great space to collaborate and keep up to date with any information you need. Now, the other type of workspace that I alluded to earlier, beyond this general committee space that's tied back to your database, is going to be for a general population or general membership workspace. Typically, what you're going to want to use these for is if you have an event where you want to open up access to your members so they can communicate beforehand and afterwards to network, or if there's a specific topic of interest you want to use, or even just a general discussion group. So the way you're going to be able to come and create those is by clicking on this workspace area right here as an administrator and going and creating a workspace for that particular group. So this one, I'll give the example of just a general discussion group. And we'll make this one so it's only for members of a certain level. So for us within this demo, there's 3 types of membership. There's gold, silver, and bronze. So I'm going to go make one just for gold members. So I can create that description that's going to appear there. And at the bottom, much like the same creation tool that we saw for the board of directors, we can choose which modules we want to enable for that particular workspace. Now, the one option that you're going to get here that goes beyond that committee workspace, because that's meant to be a private area, is the ability to add assignments. So where this is going to come in handy is if you want to open up this group to certain member types or certain organization groups or different categories. So if you have different demographic profiles you keep track of for maybe prospects or other people that are speakers for conferences that you track within the database, you can have them automatically added here. There you go. So since I'm opening up the gold membership category, I'm going to sort this by membership category. So I'm going to go here, find the gold category, and I can batch give them access right through here. And this is also my time where I can decide whether I want them to allow them to edit that description that we see when we land in the discussion group, whether they can upload files or this is going to be a view only file library, and also whether they can post in the discussion board. So for most cases, you're probably not going to want to let them update and edit descriptions because that's more administrative, but you're going to want them to be able to interact and upload files to collaborate. You're also going to be able to set up file categories in advance here. So if this is a topic group for an upcoming event, you might want to create file categories for the different workshops you have and set up the files that way. But we're going to skip that for right now, and we're going to continue to the second step, which is going to be assigning access. So since we've already assigned access to all gold members, it's going to be automatically toggled here for us. But if we wanted to add in some different administrators or further members that maybe aren't gold members, but you want to give access group, you can go through and manually do that right here by either searching member name by organization. So I can just go find myself. There we go. And since I'm a gold member, I already have access and I have the ability to edit description, upload files, and post discussions. So now that we've created that workspace is now going to be available in this tab, and anybody that you've added is going to receive the notification and be able to join that group and start working together immediately. So that's how you go create the two different types of workspaces that we have, both for committees and for the general membership. Beyond that, we're also going to give you all the tools to track the activity in these groups. So with our member engagement analytics, anytime somebody posts in these groups, anytime somebody downloads a file, you're going to have a record of that gets tied back to their profile and also the general analytics report. That's the end of our webinar for today. At this point, I'd like to give everybody a chance to ask any questions they have. So I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds or a minute to go and do that right now. So great question, Natalie. So Natalie asked, if you add committee members in this way and relate them back to a workspace, are they going to be logged within the CRM and database component that we have? So absolutely. To show you that and show you how that works, I'm actually going to jump back over to the administrative portal quickly. So if anybody recalls, when I created that committee group for the board of directors, I just added myself to that. So because I add myself, I'm now going to be related back to that group within the actual database. So if I look up my profile here, I'm going to go, and along the right-hand side towards the bottom, we're going to have the committee management widget. There we go. So below the membership summary, below engagement score, here's the committees. So here we go. We see that I've been added to the board of directors as a member role. It's also going to show my term, so that I just joined today and I'm going to be ongoing. I can also go in here and edit this information. So if somebody gets removed or you want to update that committee information, you can absolutely do it right through here. The other great part about having this log back to my profile is it's going to allow you to segment your database and allow you to easily communicate with your different committees and work groups. So within the list building group, if I want to go here and create a new list for a board of directors, and create one that's either shared or my list. I can go and add a criteria for everybody that's in a certain committee or work group. So by role, by status, or by the actual group itself. So there we go. There's another board of directors group that's been archived, so it's going to be one of those two ones that I always add to, so I'll just select both of them. Save that, and now we're gonna get a list of everybody that's in that board of directors group, which is gonna populate down here. And once you save that, as people come and go in the different positions, you're just gonna be able to keep this one list for the group anytime you need to send out a email marketing blast them or just an update for them all to see. Thank you so much for taking the time to connect today. If anybody has any questions, our great support team here is always available to you, as well as Christine, Bunny, and myself. We're sales representatives, and we're always happy to pitch in and help any way that we can, take you through a demo or anything in that regard. Thank you again for taking the time today, and I hope you learned something and enjoy the rest of your day.